Today we are talking second trimester recap. How has it already been like 28 weeks? What? So the second trimester lasts from about 14 weeks, which is around your 4-month time frame, to 28 weeks, which is bringing you up to 7 months. And it feels like it has flown by. The first trimester felt forever just because of how gross I felt. Second trimester, while it has felt like a long time, at the same time, it feels like we just got here. How did we do that? So, second trimester update. Let's see. Loving that I don't feel nauseous anymore. That's been a huge perk. 14 plus like 3-4 days, all of a sudden I was like, oh, I feel good again. I can stay awake again. So that was like the highlight of the second trimester, is not feeling so gross anymore. Another great thing is that I don't hate car rides anymore. I know we were talking about in the first trimester how I could not stand movement. I've never really gotten car sick or motion sickness, but boy, that first trimester, I really started getting all the different kinds of sickness. I was nauseous all the time. I couldn't sit in a car very long, or really at all. I even couldn't drive my own car because the smell of it was making me feel sick. I drove my husband's car during the first trimester. I don't remember if I mentioned that, but that was another fun activity or fun thing that happened. So that's been great. Second trimester, already 2 wins. Now I know I said that my favorite thing so far was that I don't feel nauseous, but I think my favorite thing has actually been the baby belly. I have always wanted to have a cute little pregnant belly. And so now that I have my baby bump, I actually have to wear maternity clothes. And that was super fun because now I get to go around, find some fun, cute things. Example, Exhibit A right now, wearing one. And it's just so fun because first trimester, you feel gross. Nobody knows you're pregnant unless you tell them. And you really don't look any different other than, did you eat too much? You're, bloated. Now, second trimester, it's like, oh, hey, look at that. I actually have a belly. I have a baby in here and people know it. So that was super cool. And because of that, your clothing starts getting a little tight. I tried for a while where you undo the button on your pants and put a hairband around it and then loop it through the hole so that my pants would last longer. And then I got one of those belly bands that looks like the bottom of a tank top or camisole. And so you put that over it and nobody can tell because you just put your shirt over that and it looks like you've layered 2 shirts. That worked quite well for a little while, but it was somewhat uncomfortable, especially because I couldn't handle things squishing my belly for a while. So that meant I had to buy some maternity clothes. And I actually found some really comfortable leggings, like yoga pants at Walmart. And that was my first pair of maternity pants. Then, and I also found the shirt. Then after that, I realized I don't want to try and fit in normal clothes anymore because they don't feel great. I was like, I'll just get maybe a size bigger, or maybe I'll just, hack it like I was doing with the button for a while. It'll be fine. I don't need to buy maternity clothes. No, it feels way better when you do. At least for me it did. I don't know. What was your experience? There was a time where I felt so tired in the first trimester. And then I stopped feeling as tired in the second trimester. Most of it I was feeling actually really good. I even started working out a little bit again because I was like, I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna work out from the time I know I'm pregnant till the end. We're gonna be set. And then I got nauseous and felt sick all the time, and I stopped that immediately. So second trimester was also the time when I was able to start working out again without feeling so sick, which was awesome. And I all of a sudden felt a little bit more normal. Even though I wasn't feeling so normal. I found some really great prenatal workouts on YouTube, and I've done prenatal yoga, prenatal Pilates, just some prenatal strength and exercise that is good for getting you ready for labor and birth. So that's been cool. It made me feel a whole bunch better because I know I've always been pretty active, and then all of a sudden I couldn't move. So yeah, second trimester win again. Towards the end of the second trimester, I actually did start feeling just a little bit more tired again. Beginning to middle was really good, but yeah, the end of the second trimester is where I started going, I'm starting to feel a little bit tired again. So enjoy it, whatever time frame and however much time you get to feel more normal or less tired or less nauseous and sick. Love all of it. Take it in, remember it, write it down so that you can look back on that and go, oh yeah, that was a nice time. That felt great. Well, moving on to the next part. But it'll be good. It'll be good. It's all going to be worth it in the end. That's what I keep telling myself. Plus, I love having the baby bump. Again, I think that's probably my favorite. I know I said not being sick was, which is a huge perk. I have two favorites. Not being sick and little baby bump. All right. So along with this growing baby bump comes a bigger baby. And with that, every time I would feel a lot of movement, especially when you lay down to go to sleep, because mom's ready to go to sleep and baby goes, oh great, you're not moving anymore, my turn. You're not lulling the baby to sleep as you walk or moving around. So when you lay down and you are still, baby starts to wake up and goes, oh good, it's time for me to stretch and move around and try some new things. Unfortunately, that happens to be right when you want to try and sleep. Yeah, but that's okay. But with more of her movements, I have been feeling a little bit more nauseous towards the end of this second trimester again. Not too bad, and definitely not like the first trimester, but it did start happening. One thing that was weird for me and that I really did not like was, so at the beginning, I started feeling some round ligament pain, which is where down at the bottom of your belly, you start feeling kind of pulling, or it's painful when, especially if you move too quickly. And then that went away, and I thought I was great until second trimester, probably about halfway through, maybe not even halfway through, it switched, and I was like, ow, why do I hurt? What's going on? And turns out, as your body is loosening and getting you ready for birth and labor, other things start loosening, and sometimes a little bit too quickly. So my pelvic bone was starting to loosen up, and there's this little piece in between your pelvis, like right at the front, and that is the symphysis pubis. And so you can get something called symphysis pubis dysfunction, or SPD. And I wasn't told that's what I have, but when I looked it up and found some great exercises to follow on YouTube, that helped a lot. And so I think that's what I was having a problem with. And so what was happening is that little piece of cartilage was getting a little loose, and it was making it really painful to move. And so I looked up some exercises. I started doing those. I messaged my doctor, and then my next appointment, I said, hey, I've started doing some exercises for this. It was really painful, and I think it's starting to feel better. And the doctor said, oh, that's great. You're ahead of other people. Keep doing those exercises, especially if it helps. And if it continues or gets worse, you can get a belly support, and that should help, or a maternity belt. That should help to support things lower down, because as your belly grows and it gets heavier and your body's changing, sometimes your body isn't keeping up, or it's going too fast for other parts of your body to keep up. So all of that to say, I ended up doing some really great exercises on the yoga ball, on the exercise ball, as well as I found out that you should not do anything that puts your pelvis off kilter. or off balance. So for example, putting on pants, I need to sit down and do sitting down, putting on pants, not standing up, balancing on one leg, which puts you off balance. So things like that, getting in and out of the car, just being really careful, not moving too quickly. Smaller distance between your steps helps. Bigger steps, you're throwing yourself off a lot. If you have a lot of stairs, try not to do stairs. And if you do have to do stairs, instead of going 1 foot over the other, instead you're gonna do 1 step and then step up to the same step, kind of like a little toddler. 1 step and step to the same step, so that you are keeping yourself as balanced as possible. Isn't that funny? We have to act like kids when we are having kids so that we don't hurt ourselves as well. I guess it's a little taste of what they're feeling. Ugh, so frustrated. I just want to go all the way up, but you got to slow down and it'll get better, hopefully. For me, it did. I hope if you had that problem, it did too. Let me know in the comments how you were feeling or if you've experienced this and what things helped you. Maybe something that helped you will help me or help some other people as well. Also, towards the end of your second trimester, you are going to have a glucose test. And the glucose test, I've heard a lot of negative things about. However, it really wasn't that bad to me. My opinion might have been different for you. So the first time you do the glucose test, it is a 1-hour test. And then if you fail or something goes awry during your first test, that 1-hour test, then you have to go back and do a 3-hour test. And so that happens towards the end of your second trimester or the beginning of your third trimester. My glucose test, I ended up taking at the end of my second trimester. With that, we will cover that in another video, because that was interesting, but really, again, like I said, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So that was cool. I mean, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't want to go do it again, but it wasn't as bad as I had heard from some people. All of this to say, everyone seems to tell you that the second trimester is the best trimester because it's when you feel the best, it's when you actually look pregnant and people know about it, and it's after the first trimester grossness and before the third trimester uncomfortableness. So far, I'd say I have to agree with them. What were your thoughts and how did you feel in your second trimester? What were some things that you had to deal with and how did you deal with them? What did you do to make it better? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I'm so glad that you were here with me. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.